Mr. Pangeng Huat.
Mr. Speaker, anyone who has aged parents or loved ones to look after would know that providing long-term care for the elderly, especially those who need help with activities of daily living, is a very daunting task. In a small family environment, the burden of care for the elderly would fall squarely on one or two members of the household. For a family with no children, such burden will exacerbate rapidly when the couple grows old and neither one of them is able to care for one or the other. At our Meet the People session, we would have heard stories of the struggles and challenges faced by our residents in looking after their elderly, or trying to raise a family of their own and having to make ends meet all at the same time. We heard in this chamber last year that this government intends to focus on building an inclusive society where no Singaporeans, young or old, healthy or sick, gets left behind. The CareShield Life and Long-Term Care Bill is a step in that direction. In the debate on the motion on CareShield Life, on ElderShield and CareShield Life in the middle of 2018, the Workers' Party MP spoke in support for the rationale to strengthen our social safety net for the long-term care needs of Singaporeans. CareShield Life, as the Minister had stated then, will be a basic protection scheme for Singaporeans against severe disability during their old age, and the scheme will be inclusive, affordable and sustainable. On the point of inclusivity, I would like to ask the Minister what would happen to the fate of Singaporeans who are currently disabled, mild or severe when CareShield Life kicks in. Under Clause 6, subsection 4B of the proposed bill, the CPF board may determine that an individual who is severely disabled currently may be covered under CareShield Life, but only if the individual satisfies such condition as may be determined by the Minister in any particular case where the Minister considers appropriate. Such case-by-case basic assessment at the sole discretion of the Minister does not provide any assurance that CareShield Life is going to be inclusive for Singaporeans who need the basic protection most. And what about Singaporeans who are unable to do one or two out of three activities of daily living currently? Would they be able to enroll into CareShield Life or be assisted by Elder Fund only, as highlighted by the Minister earlier? Sir, there are also Singaporeans who withdrew from ElderShield not by choice, but by the fact that they have nothing left in their CPF Medisave account to service the premium, and they have no ability to pay the premiums in cash. I'm happy to note that the Minister will find ways to enroll these vulnerable Singaporeans into CareShield Life, since the scheme is going to be made compulsory for all over time. Next, on the point of affordability, I would like to ask the Minister to share with the House on the impact of the introduction of CareShield Life on the adequacy of the Medisave account for future cohort of Singaporeans who would be enrolled into the compulsory scheme upon attaining the age of 30. Take the case of a young father who is servicing the MediShield Life premium for his children and himself and perhaps even his spouse using his Medisave account. Would this person have enough in his Medisave account to pay for CareShield Life as well, or when the transitional subsidies for the scheme expire? The affordability of CareShield Life needs to be considered in context with MediShield Life, since both schemes are made compulsory for Singaporeans. Is there any impact study done on the adequacy of the Medisave account of our young working-class Singaporeans with the introduction of such mandatory insurance schemes? On the same issue of affordability, may I ask the Minister again, are the premiums calculation for CareShield Life heavily influenced by the MOH estimates that 1 in 2 Singaporeans aged 65 and above could become severely disabled in their lifetime? And if we were to strip away the international data from the MOH estimate, how would the percentage look like? Sir, the international data cited by the Minister that 52% of Americans turning 65 in 2016 would develop a disability serious enough to require long-term care does not even apply in the context of CareShield Life, as these people may not even qualify to claim under the scheme unless they cannot do 3 out of 6 activities of daily living. Would the Minister not agree that using data that may not even trigger a claim under the proposed scheme to help calculate the corresponding premium an insured has to pay would not be meaningful to begin with? So in the interest of transparency on the affordability and sustainability of the scheme, would the Minister be able to publish a brief of the factors and assumptions made in the premium pricing for CareShield Life? The Senior Minister of State had mentioned some of these factors in passing in his speech on the subject last year. Factors such as disability mortality rate, recovery rate, disability incident, and risk profile of various cohorts, to name a few, are important information for the public, not just to determine whether Singaporeans are being charged baseline premium or way above it, but to spur them to make informed choices to live healthy. Mr. Speaker, this government should also see considerable savings in administrative costs for CareShield Life when it takes over the respective pool of insured persons from the 3 private ElderShield insurers. What is the projected saving from this exercise, and did the Ministry work these savings into the premium calculation? And what would be the projected profit and loss for the CareShield Life scheme under the sole administration of the CPF board, assisted by AIC? Although this is a not-for-profit insurance scheme, it does not mean that there is no profit generated. I'm sure the Ministry would have crunched the numbers in the run-up to the introduction of CareShield Life. It is in the public interest that the Ministry should release such information. I'm also sure that the Ministry can easily illustrate the technical details of the actuarial model for CareShield Life in simple graphics or something easy for the general public to digest. Thank you.